seeing me, you probably see a black young lady who's tall with basic English skills. Little do you know, I'm also a student and athlete, writer, Christian, member of a nuclear family, and a San Diegan born and raised. And as a Nigerian American who has recently visited Nigeria for the first time, and has been raised in a household where African culture easily permeates through almost all we do, I've been exposed to my culture a lot. But upon reading the book A Man of the People by Chinua Achebe, I received a new way of looking at African life, proving that we can always learn more, especially about our own identities and that of others, from an accurate, informed source. And the fact that I'm communicating with you in English, a language that has words from over 240 other languages, among the estimated 7,100 languages in the world, shows the beautiful complexity of culture, language, and people. Just like there's more to me and you as individuals than what's on the surface. However, despite being fellow inhabitants of Earth, many cultural and ethnic groups are experiencing harmful internal and external conflict, bringing forth the question, how do we fix a culture? Of course, like any problem, acknowledging that the issue is indeed an issue is the first step towards finding a solution. So how do we recognize that an ethnic group needs to undergo some change? Common indicators for needed change are that there is regularly foreign and domestic conflict, dysfunctional family life, stigmas that are hard to overcome, and historical events that sadden and stir uproar. But all are derived from hate. In the United States alone, there are at least 917 organized hate groups, and even a dating app called Hater to match singles based on common dislikes. Even our slang, roasting each other, further promotes hatred and slander, especially through our media. But hope is not lost, for psychology today confirms that hatred has to be learned, and we all are born with the capacity for aggression as well as compassion. If hatred then can be learned, likewise compassion, we should ask ourselves, what are we promoting and learning? Most of the time, the case seems to be that we are promoting and learning stigmas and stereotypes of each other. Although all stigmas, both kind and harsh, have a partial historical basis of truth, they are not the whole picture. We can choose to turn these stereotypes around for better, or simply choose to ignore them. Because if a stereotype doesn't apply to you, why be bothered? Instead, I urge you to choose to be inspired to rise above the negative stereotypes you have been labeled with because of your ethnic group. The partial truth of them are also opinion-based. And just like there are several languages, so also are there several perspectives to form different stigmas from. On the flip side, different perspectives provide different sources to draw knowledge and understanding from, making education a major part of this picture. Not education in the sense of a desk, notebook, and filled classroom, but rather that of self-inquiry and curiosity. Choosing to see the culture behind a people group, which makes them who they are, rather than just seeing the faces that represent that group, gives each of us a deeper understanding of that people, and we can relate to each other better. Otherwise, hatred and fear will remain, as Sandra Cisneros confirms in her book, The House on Mango Street, by saying, "All brown all around, we are safe. But watch us drive into a neighborhood of a different color, and knees go shakety-shake and our car windows get rolled up tight and our eyes look straight. We must choose not to live like that, but rather to be bonded to others through love. Observing and learning the music, language, food, and even literature of a people easily bridges the gap, and we can be more empathetic, and not only with each other, but even for ourselves, cementing the honor we have for our cultural identities. After all, don't you have something in common with all of your friends? Of course you do. That's what formed that relationship. Although my main emphasis throughout all of this has been on groups, we shouldn't be separated by them, but rather use them as reasons to bond us together, making even larger groups because of our commonalities. That in itself will spur us all unto love and empathy, and will not only rise above stereotypes and just coexisting on Earth, but rather live with togetherness." And Amy Maddox states this in the form of a poem. "He prayed, it wasn't my religion. He ate, it wasn't what I ate. He spoke, it wasn't my language. He dressed, it wasn't what I wore. He took my hand, it wasn't the color of mine, but when he laughed, it was how I laughed. And when he cried, it was how I cried. She was just 16 when writing this, but she gets it. Let's follow in this example of empathy, choosing love over hate to fix our cultures. Thank you.